if I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have a job to find. And if I work tonight, if I'm so tired tonight, I'll fall asleep when I'm home, when I'm home. I was just so
Good morning and welcome to the Dark Mom Consortium for January 16th, 2019. Good to see you all here. I'm apparently solo. I haven't seen Mr. Darkthorn showing up this morning. Let's send him a really quick message. I know he had lots of errands to run today, which I can totally understand. I've got lots of errands to run today, but I don't have to run them this morning. Yay. So let's put out an announcement here. Live stream is up. And let's jump over to Discord and talk to everybody there if anyone's there. Hi, we're on Discord if you want to join us.
Peace is good.
So last day of Winter
business.
last full day of Winter Wonderland, and I went through my 4 main tunes to decide what I was going to do with them for next year. Because running 11 tunes and trying to maintain the EPOs
You
and
love
just those
all
few
the little
basics
creatures,
was sucking up
even
about
you.
90 minutes of my day, to the extent that I only have 1 tune that's completed every mission to this date. And with the new season coming out next Thursday, it's going to be kind of a problem to get the remaining 10 up to speed, suck up all those new missions. I haven't even done all the TFOs on everybody. I certainly haven't done all the, what the heck do they call those things? Task force operations that are specific to a given sphere or a given arena. So very annoying indeed. But that's the way it goes. So anyway, had a great question today from, I believe it was Katie, and on this iPhone,
Is a
who was
genius.
asking about
So, yeah.
Tour de Galaxy, which I haven't done for a really long time. It's not a bad thing, it's just with the revision of the maps, I had it all figured out what I like to do, and I can't do that anymore because they've segmented it differently. So while I had it down to being able to do the full thing pretty easily in the 15 minutes, with my current equipment I can't. So I said I'd check it out. And that's what I'm going to go do, is I'm going to go back down and see what equipment I've got, what ships I've got, what has the potential for doing Tour of the Galaxy again. Previously what I had used was my Rizian Corvette, which was my fastest little ship, and I'd put the Borg engines on it. But I know I haven't done it for every tune, so let's go see what we can set up to equip here, and let's see what's going on. So I actually like my Rizian ships. That would be, in this case, the Striker Eureka. Points if you know what a Striker Eureka is. One of my favorite ships, one of my favorite names. If I had a camera, you could see the Striker Eureka is up here on the wall next to me. And let's go in here. So this ship in and of itself doesn't have a lot. Let's see what it's got for speed. Inertia's 90, flight speed will depend on what we put into it, and turn rate is excellent. So, I'm not worried about weapons, because I don't need to put those on here. What I do need to worry about is a decent set of engines. Okay, so Nukara engines, 25 plus 4 for speed. So nothing terrific in any of these. So let's go ahead and look at picking up those Borg engines out of reputation. And those would be from our Gamma. No. Okay, where's your brain? Brain not working today. There it is, task force. And let's see what we can do here. Simulated impulse engines. So what I want to do is look at some of these numbers here. So there's an improvement in the flight speed with these, but I don't remember it as being like this. So we're going to go to the expert. Let's see what everybody's engine of preference is for speed. And if anybody's on, of course. If it's just me today blithering, well, then probably not the day to be playing with this one. So let's see who is on at the moment. If it's just me, I'm going to feel very lonely. Oop, there's an Ed, there's two Eds, there's an Ivo, there's a JP, so we've got Tibby's here. So it'd be nice to get some information, not inference, from other people. So let's go back down to this. Let's look at our warp engines. Slipstream drive recharge is 100% faster with the Obelisk. That's interesting. That might make it interesting to play with. What are we looking at with our Solanae? So maybe we'll look at the Obelisk to start, which I kind of hate to do because I've got that running on my bad kitty. So we've got to make sure we go back and put something on the kitty. We've got the Obelisk back there. Better turn rate, so let's go ahead and take that one out of here. And we can put the we can put the Solanae in there. We'll go back here to the Striker Eureka. Go ahead and put that up there. Alright, so now if we want to think about putting in something else, this might be the place to put in our Borg engines. Come on, give me some stats. Thank you very much. 122 plus on flight speed. Let's go ahead and get ourselves one of those. Need 16,000 on that. We should be able to do all that. But I don't have... I was going to say I have to have neural processors. Got tons of those. I had tons of those. There they go. Very slow. Well, this is going to cook for 2 minutes, so let's go back and look at our ship for a little bit more. Anything else that we really want to put on the Striker Eureka? We're going to put those up there. Deflectors. Ooh, what shall we use for them? Let's go ahead and put our Solanaes up there for shields. Any shield that we have for a preference? Go ahead and do that. That said, we'll wait on that coming up and then we can go ahead and play that. I presume everybody is familiar with doing Tour of the Galaxy. With the change in the sectors, you have a little bit different configuration. Sometimes I'm finding that I will go to a location and not be able to tag it to move on to the next next location, which is one of the reasons I've kind of turned away from it. It's a little bit more into precision rather than just being able to clip the corners. Fine, but not as much fun in my opinion. So, engineering consoles. Ooh, we've got a lovely Mark 15 accelerator there. Anything else that we can use? Most of my stuff is geared for offense and defense versus that, but I do believe, much as I like that one, it damages my turn speed. I've gotten science. What am I thinking of that would definitely help? Is it the Polaric? Is that what I want for this one? That would be interesting. Okay, so everybody's ignoring me today. That's fine. Be that way. See if I care. Reputation. Let's go ahead and collect up our reward. I know it's not the good week for doing improvements, so we're not going to worry about that today. Let's get to our Strike Eureka. Let's put the Borg kitty cats on there. And that should be sufficient. I'm not going to worry about the shields. I'm not going to worry about the deflectors, since they're not really going to do a lot in terms of that. So, we're just going to go off with this. Let's see what we've got here. Go up and take it into space. We're going to have to change our preference on our ships for the moment, which I need to remember the next time I go out flying. So let's go on up, take it into space, and see what we got for speed. Yes, obviously going and changing into pilot would definitely be one that we want to do. I'm not going to detail that out today. But in traits and skills, let's go into specialization. We are working with pilot, so we've got our max there. I'm happy with that. Any space traits. Again, I have a tendency to do a lot more with defense and offense, but I do have helmsman, which is going to help a little bit. Anything else that I'm using? Turn rates, resist. Seeing a lot. Ooh, Thrill Seeker. Yeah, let's go ahead and take Thrill Seeker. So we're going to have to take off our techie, and we'll put on Thrill Seeker for our personal space traits. Let's see what we've got for space reputation. See if we've got anything that's going to help us out there. Okay, advanced engines. Obviously, we're just kind of pulling this together out of the blue, seeing if there's anything we can do that's going to give us a huge advantage. Ah, thank you, Dante, for responding. I really know what language to use.
Good evening, Mom.
Hi, Ed. How are you?
I'm fine, and
Oh,
I
good.
have greetings from Tibbs.
Hi, Tibbs, who isn't here, but hi to him. Hey, I'm putting together a really quick down and dirty build for doing Tour of the Galaxy.
Tour of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
If you want to be effective, have a Polaric module.
That's what I was thinking, Polaric Modulator. I could not for the life of me remember what that was.
And cheap warp core that has a slipstream cooldown reduction.
Yes, I got that.
SSR mod.
Let's see,
These
so what...
two should make you very happy.
Well, I was looking at anything else in space reputation. I found advanced engines helps. I've got pilot skills. Trying to see if there's anything else that's going to be a benefit here.
Okay, that is the advanced stuff. No more quick and dirty.
Okay, so it's not real down and dirty, but I happen to have it available, and since everything decided to clear itself out the other day, which was really fun to get up there and discover absolutely nothing was working.
Okay.
Ooh. Nope, don't want to do that one. Alright, so let me tell you what I've got here, unless you're watching, which I'm sure you're not. I just put on the Solanae, the Obelisk for the Warp Core. I've got the Borg engines, sub-transwarp engines, Mark 12, nothing fancy. And Polaric Modulator is reputation, isn't it? Or is that a prize?
No, it's from the Delta flight mission.
Oh my goodness,
Iconian
why don't
story
I...
arc.
Have I done that on this tune? I was moaning and groaning earlier that there's a lot of ones I haven't done. Huh. Well, that says I've done it. I wonder if I didn't pick it up. No problem. I'll see what there is. Boy, I'm not seeing it here. Engineering, I presume?
It's an engineering console, yes.
Oh, embarrassing. I don't have it. I have to go back and do that one again. No problems. I will go back and pick that one up. But not at the moment. Dum, dum, dum. I was finishing up all of my EPOs and stuff from the winter event today.
Oh yeah, I have mittlerweile stopped growing EPOs, so I keep some of the EPO tags instead. which is more friendly to my bank.
Yes, I traded in all of the EPOs except for the ones that are still cooking. And for the Fortunes that are going to continue and do the runs next year, because I've discovered doing it on all 11, which will probably be 12 by next year, is crazy. You spend your entire time doing it. So I kept it with 4.
Yeah,
and I cushioned up, so I have 215 on each of them. So if I miss a few days next year, no problems.
250 EPO tags.
On each.
Okay, so we say, be afraid, little new reputation. Be very afraid.
Well, it takes this pressure off when, during the holidays, people like to actually do things like have holidays. I know, it's such a concept.
I have started Winter Wonderland with full action, doing everything, especially to get all those ornaments for the cool cool modules and stuff. And I've completed really. I've fulfilled the needs of 2 accounts.
Do you need some more? I've got a couple thousand of each.
If I need, I will feel free to ask, cause Winter Store stays open all year.
Yeah, as long as you initiate it once, then you're good.
Yeah. Only thing is, new characters will not be able to buy stuff
Until next year. Yes, yes. So
Yes.
sad, but true.
Yeah, that's so cute.
It is, isn't it? Well, it's the same with Ryza, isn't it? You can't just go and buy
Sure.
stuff.
Yeah.
And even then, there's some things you can't buy during the year from the stores.
Yeah. And there's even no queue to blame for.
This is true. I mean, you can go to Ryza. I certainly go down there often enough when people are having parties, but it's not the same thing. So there is my temporary build. Should I try out what this is going to look like? Let's see, subwarps there. Do I need anything? I really don't need anything. I don't need to put together any engines or anything else. Come on, down there. There you go. You still there, Ed?
Would you like to see a map? How to do like I would fly that?
Sure,
operation?
I would love to see that.
Yeah. Okay, I hop over to my pictures.
By the way, if you haven't done Tour the Galaxy, which is certainly, I assume it's still up here. I haven't seen it for
Of course, Jayim or a Klingon with an uninteresting name, probably.
Targak.
Yeah,
Targak,
it's just
yes.
in the available missions.
Mm-hmm.
Be at your starting point before you pick the mission.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was just going to say. It's interesting. It doesn't tell you where to start it.
Yeah, you can start it
Oh,
anywhere.
that's right. You can. That's right. Duh.
And I have starting point is near. My start is always near Nimbus. That is, if I when I was young,
When you were young.
I used transwarp to our fleet base. Then used the fleet gateway to transport to Romulan space Romulus, and was very near to Nimbus. The map is in Discord chat
Yeah,
now.
I was going to say that's a long time ago. I wonder how much you could cheat by putting
I
in the
didn't
various
use it.
missions that use transwarp.
Well, I think remembering and clicking the missions is taking longer than doing it
The hard way?
Flying it honestly, I think. Okay, this is my just in the home sector, in the beta sector, my flight. That's something I made without the fancy Borg engines. just smart use of slipstreaming and the better turn from the Polaric module, maybe you won't even you will do even less slipstreams on that tour with your ship as you are faster.
I want to see if I can pick up this window and show everybody your map here. Here we go. And all right, so everybody should be able to see your map. I'll know in a moment if that shows up. So I don't know if you can see Ed's map in here. Wow, that's an interesting path, but that's only in the beta quadrant, right? Or is this your old? Yeah, because now it goes
and
to alpha.
at the target you can, if you like, at the target transwarp, use the transwarp point in the alpha quadrant and get some extras.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever been able to get both quadrants all the way done in the 15 minutes?
Not with a ship without Borg engines, and well, when I when I could afford the Borg engines, I had other ways to get lots of energy credits, so it was no longer interesting. Just a challenge I could pick or leave, and at that moment I was, I was, I said, okay, do not take a challenge just because it's there. Be optimizing and do other things. But in the early days of the of my Captain Budget account, that was my best way to earn energy credits without any trouble. Just half an hour a day and get your million.
Oh yes, day. Absolutely. Well, I do my energy credits a little bit differently these days. I do the hourly reputation, so I get dilithium, and then whatever the goodies are, I sell them at the vendor, so I recoup my EC, so I come out slightly ahead, but it's time effective.
Sure.
Because you get the dill for it, so that makes it worthwhile. I will have to try this one. This looks interesting.
Yeah.
So the pink is...
Pink armored slipstream, slipstreams, but as your ship is faster and Polaric module is not there, so your turn rate is probably less good, I would suggest to use less slipstream, maybe just after having passed the Tenebia system. The second point of the map, and then the long way down to the Josana station. That should be a tour that any slipstream should be able to handle, even a slipstream with low turn and high speed.
Well, my turn rate's 42.
Slipstream turn rate is just some percentage of your original turn rate here. Slipstream wants to fly.
Yeah, I've got a small modifier to the slipstream turn rate, but put on a couple of consoles that will help out. First of all, I did put on the RCS, which I boosted to a Mark 14, so they've got better flight turn rates. And what else did I pop on there? One of the traits also helps with the turn rate, so I've only got 2 modifiers going on at the moment, but it should be pretty good. So do you actually have to stop in each system? I haven't played this for a while, or do you just get to zip
through, fly by. It's the experienced Galaxy tourist uses the autopilot, double click on the next system, fly, then turns off the map, does just a short tip on A key, tip on DK, so the autopilot immediately forgets that he should stop.
Oh yes.
So you really fly surely near the system and do actually a flyby. And while in the system, just after the jingle, open the map, select your target, wait until the autopilot is flying straight again.
Mm-hmm.
So in the right direction, map down, and then it's again this AD. So it's kind of let the autopilot pick the right direction. After that, tell the autopilot that you are now piloting, and just then leave the fingers away from the controls until the yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. I should have to give this a try then. Unfortunately, somebody's going to be at the door in just a moment with the evil one, so I'm going to have to run downstairs and get them. Because I decided I would start this knowing that the Death Child would be here at 10:30. So I'll wait till after they arrive to start this mission and give it a try. But yeah, so what is the reward on this now? Is it still like, it's per quadrant or is it per system?
It's per system, and you get kind of a per rows or per columns rewards.
Oh, that's right, you do. I forgot that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
when they changed
so you will see while you fly on the map, you will see after rather late on this up-down oriented route, but sooner or later you will see white rectangles appearing for
Right. I remember
areas.
that. Yeah, you can tell I haven't played that for a long time. I see that the Endeavor this time around, by the way, is a PvP match. It always says participate in, but what it means is win a PvP match.
Actually, patch notes say they have revamped.
Oh, thank goodness.
Participation is now supposed to do the job. So we
Good.
could just go, if we win, okay, and if we don't win, we see the patch notes.
Yeah, I
We're
must
right.
have done 10 the last time, and people would just camp out at the respawn site and kill us. And that takes all the fun out of it, and I have no desire to do PvP. It's bullying to be nice about it.
Yeah, actually, when the PvP groups misbehave,
Oh.
how nice for the PvE player to try something they have never tried before.
Right.
So they tried it once and then said that is an endeavor I can cope
Yeah, I
with
don't-
not doing.
I have no desire to play something that's just an absolute fail. At least give me a chance.
Yeah,
So,
I always go for ground PvP
Really?
because there is it feels much less unbalanced and
Well,
much
that's where
more
we got
similar
wiped
to
out the last time we did. I think we did assault, and no, we must have done arena because it was 5x5. No, they were just waiting. Every time they'd kill us, we'd respawn. They'd kill us, we'd respawn, and it just went over and over. That's interesting. In the PvP, you do see the queue numbers, how many people are waiting. In PvE, they got away from that, and it looks like everybody's playing arena.
Oh, my doorbell says also hello to me. I'll
go
be
say
back
hello
in
to your doorbell.
4 to 10 minutes.
Go say hello to your
Be back.
doorbell. Okay. So once the evil Loki is here, I shall give an attempt at this one. And you can all laugh at me tomorrow when you're watching this, and that's fine. Be that way. If I remember right, Delta Flight, the one that awards the Polaric Modulator, is one of my least favorite of all the missions. If I remember right, that's the one where you have to do the going through all the hoops and loops and all that stuff. No, that's not in there. Delta Flight is not in that one. It's Niconian War? Delta Flight, there it is. Yes, and I haven't gotten to that one on this tune. Remember I said I haven't done all these missions? You can see Blood of the Ancients is the next one up here. Yeah, that one is not one I enjoy. So, if that's the one. If no, that's not that one. Delta Flight is a different Tom Paris episode. What happened to Tom Paris? I haven't seen him at any of the recent conventions. Not that I go to that many of them. I'm not that much of a geek. Thank you. Well, okay, yeah, I am that much of a geek, but it's not in the budget to go to a lot of them because they get expensive, because it's basically for creation conventions just a huge vendor room and a few panels, and the panels aren't free. Yeah, I'm an anime con girl. You pay a chunk of change to get in, you know, 40, 50, $100 depending on how many days you're going for. but virtually every panel is free, and the vendor room isn't the primary focus, it's an adjunct to it. So you can spend your entire day going from anime panel to costume contest to hentai rooms and back and forth, and it's a blast. I really enjoy it. And these last few times that I've gone to creation conventions when we haven't been one of the not the panelists, haven't been one of the booths, it's just been self-focused, which, you know, that's fine, but it really takes some of the fun out of it. I don't begrudge creation their desire to make money, but it would be really nice. I just realized I haven't changed this back from that map, so give me a second here. I will change back. It would be really nice if they would add more panels to it. Though 2 years ago they had some lovely panels. Phil Plait, the Bad Astronomer, was there and did a really interesting talk about which TV shows and movies are actually scientifically accurate. And there's not a lot of them, but he spoke highly of The Expanse and one movie that I hadn't seen yet, which is also fairly common since I don't go to the movies as much anymore. Being an old person. Just joking. Okay, I am an old person, but I'm not that old. Or maybe I am. Oh goodness, who knows. So, and Loki is late today, so I'm sitting here blithering while you guys have to listen to me. I apologize. But I can't start this because once it gets started, you have 15 minutes to hit as many as possible, then with a 20-hour cooldown. Speaking of 20-hour cooldowns, we will have a live stream tomorrow afternoon. We haven't set the time. We are more than happy to listen to everybody's preference. I do have a job interview, yay, in the morning, so cross your fingers on that one. If that happens, it'll be the end of our morning events, but that hasn't been a big thing since most of the German people and the Europeans are either at work or napping, and there's Loki, and I'll be right back, so be bored for a moment.
The ad is back.
I'm sure that was an exciting 5 minutes of dead air while I went to the door and got Loki, who is here and is now threatening to terrorize my plant again. One of my students brought me a huge plant about 3 years, on the verge of dying. I got it back to life, cut it down, got it to bush up and turn into this big gorgeous plant, and it's exactly the right height for Loki to go in and chew off the leaves. So my floor in my office is covered with leaves.
Yeah. The seconds I was in earlier than you, I think I heard actually Loki.
Come running up the stairs with that little jingle, jingle, jingle of hers?
Exactly.
Yes, yes, that's her. Yes, she knew I was coming up here, so she came running up here. And she hasn't had her breakfast yet, I'm sure. But that's the way it goes, right? Are you evil? You are evil. All right, Ed, I'm going to give your map a try. So are you watching this, or are you just playing the game?
Even worse.
Neither?
I do currently I do something on my theory crafting on the Oxtobat ship.
Ed, you have
That
a
is
life?
taking numbers.
Oh.
Kind of, yes, but for now it's just before the real evening entertainment starts. I do things like looking into numbers, using abilities while in Earth space, and just observing how numbers behave.
That's interesting. That's interesting. It didn't give me credit for Nimbus.
I actually can tell you, the picture is actually ready already. I'm writing it's about how auxiliary energy that is used up by Oxtobat, and how that auxiliary energy household is affecting your healing / resistance household. And too long to read. The results just don't panic. All is fine.
Don't panic. Famous words.
Yeah, I have I love it to have these summaries, but yes, the numbers just show. Yes, you lose something due to lower energy, but much less than in old days before rebalancing. And actually, I did not calculate, but I think you might even win because you can trigger abilities more often, which is the purpose of Oxtobat's builds. And as Oxtobat only reduces healing abilities if Oxtobat has reduced the auxiliary energy before you used the healing power, the other way around, that is, you have a healing power started and then an Oxtobat wanted to be used, then your heals over time are not affected. They just go on as if as they started with the high values. That is okay. That is, I think it is so. I might be wrong, but in general, don't panic.
That sounds fascinating. I'd really like to see. Are you going to put this on the website?
I will put this on the website when I have completed my German text, and then I translate them. How the picture for Aux Energy shows up is now just also in the Discord chat. But it's really a boring picture. Way too few shiny things. Just a graph, 2 or 5 or 12 words or so. Wow.
Yeah, well, the functions of the auxiliary and how it benefits things is something that's kind of eluded me when I've been playing, so it'd be really interesting to see what you have.
Yeah, it has eluded a lot of, and it also has been changed in varieties. Yes, essentially, if you set up your ships right, your Oxtobat ship will be as stable, at least as stable, as any other of the well-reputed designs. That is my clear opinion.
Yeah, I see so much chit-chat going on about it in websites, but not really knowing what it is. It's one of those nice subtleties that if you don't get it, you're probably losing something that you should have.
Yep.
So yay you. Yes, and when I start writing the book, which we will start working on, book volume 2, yeah, probably next week, which will be focused on ships as opposed to focused on characters. It'd be nice to get that one done, and then be able to put in some of that information. I suspect there will be an entire book on the ships, an entire book on the consoles.
Yeah, one thing is ship approach is probably better because things making things work together. When you look into our
Yes.
dry dock, you see the Ox to Butt related. This was one picture from me, and the how things influence each other or how sets work together. There are many things that really cross over from trade to console to bridge officer to duty officer and the like.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Focusing on ships might be repetitive in some chapters, but maybe better in Assault.
Yeah, the thing I find that if you try and rely on information in-game, it gets really challenging because you get different people's opinions. I think this kind of came up yesterday when there was a question regarding, I can't remember what it was, when we were trying to help, I believe it was James, and he was kind of...
with the Intrepid class.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
well,
what's the optimum
my
for
opinion
him?
is it's a science ship, and the science ship with torpedoes is best thing ever.
No opinions on that one, eh? Okay, I'm coming up on
Yeah.
the Kazan cluster. No, excuse me, on Vendor system. So I've got 2 rows done. Yeah, opinion is such a personal thing. Everybody's got what works for them, but a lot of that also has to do with the way that they play.
Yes.
Hi, Loki. And I know the more that we play missions, the more I discover that we have a completely different style. Everybody has a different style.
Yeah.
Go over there. No, I don't want you to go over there. Wound up at the edge of the map and trying to turn isn't happening. There we go. Let's see, I have 7 minutes left and more than half the map to do. This should be interesting. So when I was first playing with the Fleet Ed, I assumed I knew how to fight battles, and I got into the Breach with the team, and Tasker very nicely, very politely kind of told me that's not how to fight. So I'd been fighting for 3 years in a really inefficient, not particularly effective style. So good news, perhaps a little late, but definitely helped, and since then it's been working. This is one of the games where, you know, other people have really good advice.
Yes.
That's interesting.
You have all colors of players.
Yes, you do.
And actually, in Star Trek Online, the friendly the colors are more. So the community, the friendly people are more communicative than in other games I know, where you just have the unfriendlies telling you that you are failing for certain reasons.
Yeah. Wow, this is interesting. I went to the Vorn system and it didn't click for me, so I'm having to circle back to get it. Let's see if it'll pick it up this time. No. There it goes. Got it. Just took a while.
Okay.
That was interesting. These are decent engines with a decent turn rate, so it's helpful, but not great. So I've got 2 rows, 2 columns done. Oh, that's very interesting. My autopilot isn't necessarily working. Okay, that's the second time my autopilot's failed. Third time the autopilot's failed. Close. Close. So I'm doing a variation on your map just because of the failure of the autopilot. Well, this will give me something to work on with the same build. This build seems to be efficient enough.
I'll say hi in chat now. To the chat. Well, if this works out right, I wind up at New Romulus, which is a good thing. Since I left New Romulus. If this doesn't work, I'll still wind up at New Romulus. Okay, 2 minutes, maybe a bit short into your action on the one system, but your map looks sufficiently wide already.
It's decent, it's just I screwed up at Iconia. Couldn't get it to go there. Had to circle back 3 times and probably lost 30-40 seconds doing that. This will be dicey. Kittimer. 30 seconds to get to New Romulus. That would be an awesome name for a song. 30 seconds to New Rom. Nah, not gonna happen. But might get 3, or all but 1. If I'm lucky, 17 seconds to get to Khitomer. Okay. So if I hadn't had the problems at Iconia, yes, your map works beautifully for this quadrant. So,
Yep.
Katie, Ivo, to answer your question, Ed's map is awesome. Works very nicely. Loki, Ed's map works great. I see you've been in the snow. This dog has 1 thin coat versus my dog who has very, very thick double coats. And so when she comes in, she's soaking wet and cold, but she likes it. Well, Ed, that was awesome. I'm going to have to give that a try, but this was Obelisk Engines. This was the Borg Transwarp, or Sub-Transwarp Assimilated. Obelisk Warp Core Borg Engines. RCS Mark 14, and I will go do Delta Flight and pick up the Polaric Modulator and see how that goes, and then just with a couple of traits adjusted for maximum turn speed and to reduce the cooldown. So there's some options there.
Yeah, maybe in sector space, your RC consoles also do not work as cool as they do in system space, but that's something I have never dug into.
Well, I had the DIL and the neural processors, yeah, to be able to play with it, so not a problem. That was fun.
Sure.
I'm going to let you go because I need to get ready for my work day. Okay, I don't have to get ready for my work day. I'm teaching a class and kicking, which isn't going to kill me. I don't have to prep for it, but I actually have other things I need to do, right, Loki? Like feed the dogs. She's going, I'm going to eat this chicken right here. So, Ed, thanks so much for joining me today. Thank you for everyone who's watching this. For Ivo, there's a functional map. I'm going to play with that a little bit more and bounce some ideas off Ed in terms of revising the map to see if it's possible to get more than just that in the 15 minutes, because it's got to be able to be done, or why would they have it? So thank you very much for joining me, Ed. Really a pleasure to talk to you, as always, sir. Have a great day, and I'm sure I'll see you in a little bit.
Yeah, you will.
Take care.
You too. Goodbye for now.
Bye.
If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't